We'll introduce our Nature Notes speaker.
All right. Well, JHicks is on the, she's obviously a member of the Master Naturalist. She's on the board of the Gulf Coast Bird Observatory. And she had applied for one of our Eco Fund grants to do some signage at the Gulf Coast Bird Observatory. So, Jackie, you might want to say a little bit more. She's a Dow retiree, great birder.
Last year, this organization graciously gave a grant, the first grant program, the Eco Grant program, to GCBO for some signage, and I want to show you what we've done with that money. Okay, so let me just refresh your memories if you can see this next slide. This was a $500 grant, and what GCBO proposed was the purchase of interpretive signage, and I'm going to show you the results of this. First of all, let me just give you an overview of the property, and hopefully many of you have actually been out to the property. It's very nice. It is property that Dow had donated many years ago. It's very diverse from an ecological and habitat standpoint, and they have established a pretty nice trail organization here, as you can see. And there's a lot of educational opportunities here. Where this star is the Avian Conservation Science Center, which was constructed about 6 or 7 years ago. Beautiful building right on Buffalo Camp Bayou, which you can see here. And what we did was we looked and said, okay, well, where can we take the opportunity to put some high quality interpretive signage on the property. And we wanted to obviously maximize and be good stewards of the $500 grant investment. We wanted to not only promote the habitats on the property, but also some unique ecology. And where that little happy faces are shows where we actually installed the signage. For the $500 investment, we were able to get 5 very high quality signs, which I'll show you, made and installed. And we felt like that was just an excellent value. So this is one of the first ones. The property, as I mentioned before, sits on Buffalo Camp Bayou. And they have a nice little deck area, which has actually been improved because for our brew on the Bayou, which has been scheduled for March, a shameless promotion here, after being canceled for this year for obvious pandemic reasons, has seen some improvements with lighting, and we've put some stuff in to help with boat access, because we have some little tours on boats of the Bayou. But you can see that we've installed this signage here with some very nice photographs showing the habitat, talking a little bit about Buffalo Camp Bayou. So that was one sign that we installed. And also there was a recent Boy Scout, Eagle Scout project very close to this that installed a bench overlooking the bayou. So that kind of just enhanced this whole area. Another sign that we installed was along one of the trails, and it talks about the spiders and insects in this habitat. And if you've been around these trails, you'll know there are no lack of spiders in this. Particularly our favorite golden orb spiders have taken root here. But it was funny, as we were installing this sign on the post that you can see on the picture to the left, we saw this gigantic wolf spider supervising the installation. So we thought, well, this is obviously the right place to put this sign. The next sign we installed was for the Columbia Bottomland Forest area, which is right by an observation tower And you can see it's a beautiful natural area there. We've got this overhang with a bench, and we put the sign right there so people, as they enter into that platform area, can see about the bottomland forest. The next one that we did is in the front area where there's a man-made pond and wetlands area. And this is very interesting because many of you may have actually been involved in digging and establishing this wetlands pond. But we had a very nice sign there, and again, it just points out how important it is that we establish these areas because they are critical habitats for birds, insects. Actually, we have alligators on the property too. So all this is very important. And you can see these are very nice, high quality signs that we had made with nice photographs, and they're constructed so that they should last quite a long time. The last sign that we put is in an open area. We, I believe with Chris Kniper's help, discovered that there is a unique species of palm on this property. Some of it has been also cultivated, and so we were going to plant some of these palms around a nice little sitting area in an open area near the parking lot so that people could see this species and learn about it. And finally, we had our trusty volunteers, Orrin and Tom Taroni. Tom's got his, as he calls his pandemic hair going. And Orrin obviously needed a few more hours of service because he's lacking in that area. So they were gracious enough to help install all these signs and really did a nice job for us. They're great volunteers. So again, we just really wanted to thank this organization for their ongoing support of GCBO. I encourage you all to, get out and look at those look at the trails, look at the signs. The property, while the building is pretty restricted in terms of access because of the pandemic, the property is open every day, and you're welcome to go hike, bird watch, whatever. And for those that may not be aware, this is hummingbird season. All our hummers are coming back, and we have a tradition at GCBO for the Extreme Hummingbird Extravaganza. Unfortunately, we have to go virtual this year, but it is going to be broadcast, and Celeste Silling, who was also very instrumental in this project, who is the education manager, does a great job of broadcasting the birds being banded. We did this for some other events, and she'll do the hummingbirds. We'll catch them. She'll show as they're being banded, talk about them, show some other things on the property, and it's very educational. Of course, it can't take the place of being there in person and seeing those little critters, but it's the best we can do given the situation. And we also have a raffle going on. I have tickets. You can call GCBO and purchase them. And some of the other members online may also have tickets. As we're all aware, nonprofits have really had a challenging year. So anything we can do to support and boost them, is great for our community and to preserve these wonderful organizations. They have an online store. There's some great new T-shirts that Celeste has designed. So I just encourage you all to participate. It's going to be 2 Saturdays coming up, the 19th and 26th, and the broadcast will be from 8 to noon, and you can go on Facebook and do that. So that's all I have. Just a thanks and a shameless pledge or a promo for GCBO. But if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them now, or feel free to email me. But thank you.
There are no questions. You actually answered it. It was concerning the raffle for the Astro tickets.
It's not Astro tickets. This will be at the that'll be at Brew on the Bayou in March. This raffle is for 3 items: a cross stitch done by Kay Lookenbill of a ruby-throated hummer that's beautiful. I've done a box also with a beaded hummingbird on it. And then Virginia Taroni has done a wonderful hummingbird-themed tote bag that's got all kinds of pockets in it. All 3 items are going to be in that raffle. $10 a ticket or 6 for $50.
Thank you, Jackie.
Okay.
All right, you quit unsharing. All right, the next item is vote on naming Peggy and Pete Rumpf as honorary master naturalists. A while back, Lisa Myers had submitted a request to the board to name Pete and Peggy as emeritus members. Well, that category has been dropped as of the last time we updated our documents. And so now that is called honorary master naturalist. And the same basic privileges apply. They have voting rights. They don't have to pay dues, and they can do anything a master naturalist can do that is currently active. So you should have received in your email several weeks ago a listing of their qualifications and comparing them against other members who have achieved this level. So what I need to do is ask the membership if I can get a motion to conduct an election for the purpose of recognizing Pete and Peggy as honorary members of the TMNCOT chapter.
I moved. Bob Whitmarsh.
Do I get a second?
I second. This is Ori.
All right, thank you. So that motion is passed. And now I open up the floor to anybody.
No. The motion was made and
You got to
seconded.
vote.
There was no vote on the motion.
Oh, well, I wanted to get a discussion before I take the vote.
Discussion on the motion.
Pardon me?
The confusion was you said it passed, Bill. So I think that was just a
Oh no, I mean just getting the second for that. That's what I meant. I'm sorry. And now I want to open it up to discussion. If there's any discussion to be had.
I move to go ahead and vote.
Get a second on that?
I'll second it.
All right. Then, John, do you want to explain the voting process?
Yes. I'm going to post a link to Microsoft Forms in the chat box. We've done this before with questions concerning just general knowledge. Click on that link. It'll open a separate window. You can enter your vote, and then we'll tally them. We'll give you a minute or so to vote. So here comes the link. Hopefully this will work as intended.
John, can you explain to everyone how to get to the chat box to get to the link?
Yes. For those of you that are not familiar with Microsoft Teams, if you'll go to the chat bubble, which appears above cartoon characters, and click on that, that will open the chat box. You can, and I will repost the link again. So far, we have 12 responses. Now we have 36. So y'all just keep on voting. We now have 38 responses. We now have 42 responses. $44 responses.
John, do you know how many total people are in the meeting?
We had 64 plus, we had roughly 72. We had 64 plus 8.
Thank you.
I don't know how many are, and I have the attendance list. I've been downloading it. And we currently have
That's 61.
62, I see,
Oh, no.
plus some couples. All right, we're up to 47.
That's a majority there. It's 3/4.
Yeah, we need 75% positive.
If all those are yes, it should be good to go.
Well, I'm not looking at the breakdown yet until I'm told by Bill to call it.
Yeah, we'll give them just
48 have voted so far.
15 more seconds.
I will post the link one more time.
Christy pointed out that interns don't vote, so there might be people watching that can't vote.
We're up to 50.
All right. People are still voting. Let's keep it live.
Still at 50.
All right, let's call it. So if we have 62 people in attendance, we need 75% approval to make the motion carry. And that would be approximately 47 yays.
Bill, does the 62 include the interns?
Oh, that's correct. We'd have to know how many interns are in the group.
Right, you got to subtract that from the 62 if that's the number, and then apply your percentage to that number.
Yeah. Gosh.
And it also appears a couple may have voted via the chat versus the link, or they did both. I'm not sure.
Mary, are you here? Mary Schwartz?
Yes.
How many interns are present? Would you know?
I don't know how many are in attendance. There are 12 total.
Right.
I think there are 7 at least. So, and there may be a couple also, so maybe 8.
Bill, can we send out an email saying if it carried or not after you look at the records?
Yes, and if you're present and you're an intern and you did vote, can you go to the chat room and make that known so we can remove your vote?
Yes, there have been some people already comment that they voted, so.
All right.
Mary,
Yeah.
would you track that for me, please?
Okay.
Because I'm already multitasking.
This is Mike Hampy. I didn't get to the link, but I vote yes.
All right. How come you couldn't get to the link? Was it a technical problem or?
Probably just my knowledge of it.
Okay.
And Bill, just for you to know, we're up to 51, and then whatever, then subtracting in the interns, just to let folks know in the future that anyone can vote that had access to that link. So I did not restrict that. But you can only vote once.
So should we keep the results not known until we figure out who voted and who didn't, or can we determine that now as far as what interns were in on it?
You tell me.
Well, I don't know on how to determine what the interns were in on it. I guess Mary would know their names better than we.
Yeah, I'm going through it now. They're listing whether they voted or not, so I'll be able to come up with a count.
Bill, if nobody voted no, then it would carry. I guess you have to know how many.
Yeah, that's true too. Can we look at the results and just see if there are any no's?
I'm looking at it right now, and it's unanimous. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I think it passed.
Everyone that voted voted yes.
And there's that then.
And I can see if I can post this into the chat box. We'll see.
I think it's safe to say that it carried, Bill. If you'd like to announce it.
I think it's passed, Bill.
Yeah. John, what do you have to say?
Nothing. I put it into the results into the chat box.
Oh, okay.
Bill, this is Ed. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Neil just called me and he and Phil vote yes. For some reason, they were not able to get onto the link.
Okay, that's 2 extra votes. And my Canby, that's
I'm
3.
seeing 4 interns voted.
Okay, so did they all vote yes? We don't know. Okay.
Well, if before it said there were, whoever looked at it said there were not any no's, it sounds like they were yes. They didn't say. I'm just
So
saying,
we actually have a
you can remove those 4 from the total is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. So we have 58 actual active members with voting privileges.
Hey, Bill, Luann, Salinas, and Jimmy are trying to vote yes as well, but they're remote, so they can't get to the link. So that's 2-4. So I think you're good.
So we need 43 positive votes, yay votes. And when I'm sharing my screen like this, I can't see.
Can you see the chat box?
Nope, not when I'm sharing my screen.
Okay, well, John posted the numbers that came in through the chat box, and there were several people that did not use the online vote link. They just voted in the chat box. You're well over the number that you need for this to pass.
Yeah, we needed 44 out of the 58. So do we have that?
Bill, it's unanimous. Can we please just call it and move on? It's 11 a.m. already.
Yeah, it's just a minute. Yeah, we can. So the motion carries. Peggy and Pete Rom for now voted in as honorary Master Naturalists. Lisa, do you want to be the one to inform them?
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you. All right, the next order of business is we're not having a chapter meeting in October because of the state meeting. That's the first day of the state meeting, and I'm signed up from classes from 8 o'clock on, so I don't know how many of you are attending, but the last time I heard there were 600 plus people signed up for the meeting, and that was 2 days after they opened up the meeting for registration. So really don't know how many people are going to be in it. But moving on, Don, you want to do the financial?
Yes, it'll be very quick. Revenues basically included our monthly contribution by one of our members. One of the interns had a direct payment from their account within TDECU to ours, plus our pitiful interest of about 19 cents. Expense summary, that 428.86 is basically the GCBO eco project, which I'm happy to say came in under budget, which they did quite well. So there's the ending result of $10,923.29. So we had a little more expense this month than we had income. That's all I have. Anybody have any questions? Thanks. I'm done.
Thank you, Don. Okay, recertifications. Cindy Goodrum, Pam Peltier, and Karen Leader all have recertified for this year. Milestones, Paula Hansen, 250 hours, and myself, 1,000 hours. We had 69 members report hours in August for VT of 511 hours and AT of 95 hours. And I looked at that for what we did against last year in 2019. And we are 6% more in AT than we were last year. VT is down 36%. And where we really took the hit is the impact that we made, both adults and children. We're down 79% total. But that has to be figured because of the social distancing and, you know, COVID, whatever. So, but overall, the state office said we're down about 20%, but it looks to be trending that we'll be getting more and more hours as the year goes on. So maybe we won't turn up all that short as the Master Naturalist statewide. All right, volunteer service as a distance. GCBO, Native Plant Work Day, every Thursday, 8:30 to 11:30. Contact Chris. Surrey County Parks Department Trail Day, third Thursday of the month, 8 to 12. Contact Mike.
Hey, Bill,
Yes.
this is Oren. Mike,
Hiya.
since posting this, Mike contacted me, Mike Mullenweg, and the Trail Day maintenance has been canceled for this month. He has another commitment on that day.
All right. Thank you. Trash collection, disposal, analysis project, self-directed. Myrtle Beach Patrol, self-directed. Anybody have anything else? I hope you got to go to the virtual volunteer fair, because they really had some nice projects available for you to get involved with. I'm going to try to do the one with Texas Parks and Wildlife where I write an article, but I'm not a great author, so I doubt that I will get in on that one. Okay, Mary, you want to talk a little bit about the fall intern training and the radios even?
Sure. So the fall intern training class is in session. We've done the introductory class on August 26th. And then last week on September 2nd, we had our first class based on the unit curriculum. And it was presented by Chris Kniper on forests, the Columbia Bottomlands. And we were out on the trails on Hanson, Riverside County Park. So we got to walk some of the new trails. And some of us who were out there last year noticed the trails were different. So they definitely made a big impact. So we have 12 interns. We have biographies in the newsletter that was sent out. So if you haven't read the newsletter, please make an effort to do so, so you can see who our interns are. Next week, we will be resuming our training, and we'll be doing the wetlands, estuaries, and beach ecology. So we are doing field trips in person. And one of the things that we're trying out this session is I've purchased some two-way radios, and we're using those for communication so that we can distance ourselves. Plus, it enhances our ability to hear the presenter as we're out in the field. So we are following social distancing guidelines, wearing masks, doing those sorts of things. So hopefully, going forward, the heat's going to break for us because it was quite hot last week. But we were in the shade most of the trip, so looking forward to future field trips. I think it was great to get out and look around at things.
Yeah, I've heard a couple comments from some of the interns, and they're just really looking forward to more of the field trips. They were really pleased. So,
well, good.
Yeah. Thank you, Mary. Annual meeting. The last I heard, there were over 600 people signed up for the meeting. There's probably a lot more than that now. It's $55 for the entire meeting. I don't know how many of the sessions are still open to have access to, but our chapter is hosting the photo, art, and media event, and we've got a lot of entries piling up already. We'll be checking them every Wednesday and turning them in to be posted for voting. And we're also, our chapter is going to be hosting virtual field trips to the Flohanna Prairie and Falls Island Strand Prairie. So if you do register, try to get involved with these two field trips because they look to be really good. Bob, you got anything to say about the field trips?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good one to take part in. And if you look at the other field trips that are proposed by other chapters, they all look pretty interesting. So that's on the 13th, right before the official start of the meeting. And if you register for the meeting, there's no registration for the field trips. You're in.
Cool. All right. And as Jackie's already told us, the Extreme Hummingbird Extravaganza, and it's always a good thing. The 19th and the 26th, so get your tickets for the raffle drawing, and hope to see you online. Does anyone have any other comments to make? All right, how many hours for today's meeting?
Okay, so for the meeting, I've got 24 and a half minutes, so that rounds up to half an hour. For the AT, I've got 1 3/4 total for the 3 presentations.
So 1.75 hours for the VT and a half hour for the AT.
No, the other way around.
Other way around, I'm sorry.
Yeah, 1.75 AT and 0.5 for the volunteer coming to the meeting.
My mistake. All right, then meeting adjourned. Yes, Mickey.
This is Mickey, and if Chris Kniper is still on, he did make a comment. I don't think everybody's accessing the chat box, but he did make a comment. You know, the Gulf Coast Bird Observatory has a fantastic native plant nursery. They call it the Brewery, but and those plants are available to purchase, and then you can just go out there and pick them up. Chris, are you still on?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Why don't you
Yes.
go ahead and tell people about that, because it's a fantastic resource that we have that people don't know about.
Okay, well, the Celeste Schilling of GCBO has put in a lot of effort to put a lot of the plants that we have plenty of online through the online nature store of GCBO. So you can order plants there just like you can hummingbird feeders or books or other things. And then you arrange with her a time to drop by and pick them up. So she knows either I or her get these together and place them near the nursery, near the benches, and people can just do the loop, come into the grounds, and go pick them up. You know, they've already paid online, so they just have to pick them up. You don't even have to go inside. So, you know, you do have to take our word for it. You know, we'll pick out what we think are the best ones, best specimens, but they are, you know, you don't get a chance to look at them ahead of time. So you do have to trust us to pick out the right ones and good ones and put them there for you. But that is available now for most everything where we have decent numbers of in the nursery. So hope you take advantage of it.
All right, thanks, Chris. Any other comments? All right, then let's adjourn this meeting at 11:12 today. And I appreciate everybody showing up, and thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
And Mickey.
Thank you, guys.
And all our wonderful presenters.
Great meeting.
Yeah, we did. We had a great meeting.
Oh, you said great meeting.